over the overall radical concept. And with this, I hope and I know that you ought to have understand the balance and also the first type of design, which is the unity and the harmony type of design. Yes. So we are going to be moving to hierarchy. The principles of design are so interjoined that you need to understand everything as a whole, but you cannot understand everything as a whole unless you break it down into simple meanings. So as I spoke in the first principle, I said that it is with the unity and harmony. And the unity and harmony is when when you bring other things together in a way that is continuous, so that there will not be negative space, there will not be space that is not needed, there will not be space that cannot be occupied with important and meaningful information. You need to understand that in a way you must design your graphic design, you must bring out your concept in a way that it must be united. At least one thing must be leading to another. You cannot be designing for a church and sorry to say, you will be using a tea company, or you'll be using a traditional background, you'll be using a traditional concept. If in any way the church is going to be doing a traditional service, it must mean that you are going to be using a traditional concept in form of a church design. So that's what it means by you bringing unity to the design. The logo, the theme, the present must be united together. You cannot have a theme of growth and you'll be using another design that is about voice. These two things are not related. These two things are not in unity. In any way you are going to be designing, it must be united. If you notice, the design that was made for this flyer was not a design for a church program, was not a design relating to was not a design relating to a traditional program, was a design that is relating to a design challenge, a graphic design environment. And in this way, it will bring out the unity in the design, because people will get to view it as a creative space. They will not just view it in a way that, oh, this design looks like a church design, this design looks like a church design. The concept must be there, the meaning must be there, and it must be united. And also the principle, the balancing, as I said in the second part, is sure as to balance everything and to bring it out in a way that there will be no errors in the alignment. Then also we are moving to the alignment. The alignment deals with the trees, the alignment deals with the trees, the nest, the weight. And briefly, I will not really be emphasizing on the PDF here. I'll just be explaining how these things are. Is hierarchy. Sorry, I'm very sorry, it's the hierarchy. So this hierarchy, this is more of in a way in which you are going to be designing from the motherboard, the mother text, to the parents, the children text. I'll just use this to explain this so I will understand in a very low concept. There is the mother text and there is the children's text. So you cannot in any way try to place an important text lower than a less important text. Let us take an example of a creative design. Let's say we have an organization that wants to carry out an orientation for us. What will be more prominent in the design will be the talk of the orientation. What will be more prominent in the designs will be in the talk of the illustration, and what will be more prominent in the designs will be the talk of the orientation in which they want to do. It will not be maybe when the class will be holding, or the amount they are going to be using for the class, or maybe the date. Other things will come in line when your user notice that, okay, this thing is for me. And that's where the hierarchy comes in. The hierarchy is the way you place things in sense of uniqueness, in sense of respect. So as a graphic designer that understands the principle of design, you must in any way, you must not place a text, an important text, to be a less important text, and in any way you must not place a less important text to become an important text, because what will happen is that it will lead to a misinformation. People will be getting what they need less, because what we really need to see is not visible to us. What is visible to us is what we don't really need, and people will not get the concept in which you are trying to bring out. Let's look at the trees hierarchy. The trees hierarchy is the elements arranged in the order of a tree, like a trunk, branches and sub branches. That's what I said. Is a way in which you arrange everything in step of the mother to the child, or the mother to the son or daughter, the mother to the child view, and everything must act in line. If you are having a design, you must understand that those texts, because more of hierarchy talks more of text, it talks more of typeface. So you need to understand that more of the text, more of the font in which you are going to be used must follow in order of hierarchy, and we are going to move into the third principle of design, which is the scale and proportion. Scaling and proportion. In this scaling and proportion, this is the size, the ratio, and the division. So this size deals with it's also like hierarchy, but in this sense you get to understand that the size and proportion in which you need for your project is very, very important. They cannot be needing a flyer designer, and then you are going to be designing with the orientation and proportion of a social media design. What I mean is that the size, the shape of how it's going to be, at least an A4 paper is different from a A5 paper. So this the way you get the specific orientation, the way you get the specific scale and proportion of your design is very important, because there's different scale and proportion for different type of designs. Designs are not just the same. Designs are not just brought up on the same ratio. There are designs that are for just for posting on social medias, and those designs can be achieved just by using a square. There are designs that can be achieved by using rectangle shapes, just to understand in a simplest form. Design can be achieved just by using a landscape shape. So you need to understand that these sizes must act in line with the type of design which you are doing, and the ratio here are elements related to each other's in visual harmony. So you notice that this thing is actually linking us back to what you've learned before. The ratio is the element related to each other in the ratio is an element related to each other in a ratio appear together in visual harmonies. This is a sense that is showing us that in everything we are going to do in this ratio element of designs, compared to the scale and proportions, it needs to be put in a way in which is harmony. It's harmonized. It ought to have an harmony form, because there is no way you are going to be designing a concept. This is a particular concept of designs, and the concept is maybe they are typing out a word, they are typing out a shape or a text on top, they are typing out another one in this size, in this shape, in this scale, they are typing out another one just as a small thing in the middle, they are typing out another one as the smaller aspect. There's hierarchy here, there's scale and proportion here, there's harmony, and there's also balance. So if we look at this particular concept, we get to relate other components and other principles of design together, because they are interjoined and interdependent. Then we have the fourth principle of design. The fourth principle of design deals with the dominance. The dominance type of design works more on what is dominating the design which you are doing, what is going to be prominent in the design, which one will be the focal point, which one will be the ball of contention. And if you understand what I'm trying to say, you notice that this is also related to hierarchy, because in a way hierarchy is a placing of typeface in the way or the importance and the way it's going to serve purpose. This dominance as a principle of design is a way in which you are going to design a design whereby you will bring more portion of the design as this portion is dominating other kinds of design. There's a way in which you are going to design a concept in which there will be hierarchy, there will be a sense of this thing is dominating other kind of design. And we have the highlights, breaking the visual hierarchy using form to lay emphasis. So now we have every other thing to start with. Maybe we have every other text, or maybe we have every other shapes as a square, as I use the ministry or the church flyer as an example. Maybe we have church flyer now and we have ministers listed on it. There's a way in which you are going to show the dominant and the most important minister, and we also balance the other minister. This is what this place is talking about. That, and even if you have the hierarchy, there must be a sense of dominance in which you are going to place one as priority over the other. You are going to place one as priority over the other, regardless of the color. The color must, there is a color that will dominate the whole design. There's a color in design, in every design, that must dominate the other design. There must be a primary color in the designs, and there must be maybe the secondary colors in which you use in the design. It will be your design, green will be the most prominent and the dominated colors in your design. It might also be that yellow will be the less dominated. This is how we can understand. It's not just be like you add other colors together, and the colors, they are not, there's no color that you can see and you can know that this one is dominating other kind of design. Even if it is white color, some designs, white color used to be the dominant color principle. Yellow color used to be the dominant color principle. And to be a professional graphic designer, you need to understand from the first concept, which is the harmony, to the balancing, to the hierarchy, to the scale and proportion, and also to the dominance, because you need to put things in their correct shape, in their hierarchy shape. I also need to put it in their color shape, how they are dominating the designs. Then in the next one, I'm going to be learning the similarities and contrast. The similarities and contrast. As I always say, design background, so as to we have the warm colors, we have the other kinds of color designs, other kinds of colors. There's a way in which you are going to make your designs to be vibrant. There's a way in which you are going to make your designs to look more encouraging. If you are designing a design, you must work more on the contrast, work more on what you need to be more dark and what you need to be more lighter. Definitely in designs is a combination of these two types of colors, or these two types of contrast. There must be a design that maybe the background will be more darker, and the things placed on the background will be the one that will be shedding the light, or maybe it will be the background that will be more lighter, and the things that will be placed on the background will be what will be bringing the contrast in the designs. And also the lines or the texture in which you are placing on the designs ought to be in proportion to the kind of design in which you are doing. What I mean is that if you are designing a dark background design now, and the design is a dark background, the texture in which you are going to be using to place on that must not be in any way a dark texture in which we still darken it more. If you are going to be placing any texture any way you want the design to feel, either it will be in the form of a grounded state, either the design will be in a form of a zip hazard state. What I'm trying to explain is that if we look at our road, we notice that the texture in which they used to create that ground, the road in which the tarred road, notice that texture can also be replicated in designs. And you need to understand the way you are going to be able to place all your textures and forms depending on the background contrast, depending on the background similarities. If the background similarity is dark, there is tendency that you don't need a higher texture to place on the background, because if you are following the rules and principles of an important similarity and contrast, it must be in a way that it will contain the primary and the secondary colors. There must be in a way that it will contain the darker and the lighter version of what you are talking about. The background might be in a bit darker, but if the background is dark and the text in which you are placing on, or the images you are placing on it is also dark, it will not bring out the best results. And if you are trying to understand the principle of design, you need to understand it that if you are placing something on a darker background, it needs to be a lighter something. It needs to be a lighter component that you are placing on a darker background. If you are placing a texture on a darker background, it needs to be a soft texture. It not really need to be an hard lay or an hard texture that you place on a darker background, because you need it to be important. You need it to be attractive. And if you want your design to be attractive, these are the basic things you need to understand. You are going to be moving